result of the voting is as follows. 2011/400.
The United States deeply regrets the necessity to vote on this resolution to end the UNMISS mandate. We call on the government of Sudan yet again to reconsider its demand that UNMISS cease its activities in the Republic of Sudan effective July 9. The mission has a critical role to continue to play in regional stability, especially in the two areas. The United States is sending a clear message, along with other council members, that it wants the United Nations to remain in the two areas, especially at this critical juncture. We continue to be deeply concerned about the fighting in southern Kordofan, the displacement of civilians, and the ensuing humanitarian crisis. The government of Sudan and SPLM North must return to the negotiating table in the coming days and agree to an immediate cessation of hostilities. We call on the government of Sudan as well to work actively on agreements to bring peace and stability to the border and in Blue Nile and southern Kordofan states.
It is my understanding that the Council is ready.
Sadly, UNMISS's presence is still needed in southern Kordofan state, where we continue to be deeply concerned by reports of ongoing violations of human rights and international humanitarian law. Civilians continue to suffer the impact of conflict, including aerial bombardment by Sudanese armed forces and other abuses, reportedly including extrajudicial killings, forced displacement, and arbitrary arrest and detentions. We unreservedly condemn the ongoing violence.
Il est ainsi décidé. Et je déclare donc la République du Soudan du Sud admise à l'Organisation des Nations Unies.
Yes, the task ahead is great, but so too is the country's potential. With its abundant natural resources, arable land, the waters of the Nile, and of course, proud and hardworking people. We pledge to help South Sudan shape its future as we help the region consolidate the gains. Together, we salute the leaders of both North and South Sudan. They showed courage and commitment in bringing about a successful referendum that expressed the democratic will of the people.
The United States will remain a steadfast friend as South Sudan works to pursue peace, to strengthen its democracy, and provide opportunity and prosperity to all its citizens.
فكلنا سودانيون وسنظل سودانيين. وكما قلت بالأمس أننا عائلة كبرت العائلة وأصبح لها منزلين، منزل في الشمال ومنزل في الجنوب. هذه هي الروح التي سنتعامل بها، وأود أن أنقل هذه الرسالة للمجتمع الدولي بكل وضوح: روح تعاون وتنسيق وتضامن من أجل شعبينا اللذين ربطت بينهما قواسم مشتركة كثيرة وعديدة، قواسم التاريخ وروابط الدم وعرى الثقافة والاجتماع. سيظل هذا ديدننا في التعامل مع جمهورية جنوب السودان.
It is our deepest and most sincere wish to resolve all outstanding matters between North and South swiftly and peacefully. We do not harbor bitterness towards our former compatriots. We remain partners in peace and committed to the principles of good neighborliness.
The independence of South Sudan and its admission to the United Nations is a remarkable achievement. A long-standing conflict has been stopped and grievances put aside. This stands for an example for peaceful settlement of conflict, for peace and cooperation between countries for the benefit of their people.
When the euphoria goes away, the people will want services, development. Now, to meet those expectations is now the concern. Where do we get the money to uplift Southern Sudan from being the lowest in indices of development and at least bring it to equate the North? And since we have the resources, whether it is oil, minerals, water, arable land, wildlife, tourism, and by the way, we have a greater potential than Kenya or Tanzania, even combined, in tourism, in wildlife. If we can enhance all this and inject capital into it, we can make South Sudan an economic hub of Africa, a financial center for Africa. The joint integrated units from both forces failed to provide the necessary security. The component of the UN forces that time also failed. We think the new composition of a brigade from the Ethiopian forces will bring about security there. So we'll find a solution to Abiy. My president has offered to work with his colleague, President Bashir, for resolution of the current conflict in southern Kordofan, and in totality, the two areas, and Darfur. I think Khartoum should make use of that will. We want to cooperate because we want to create two viable states. We want the borders to be an area where there is economic activity. 1/3 of the Sudanese population, north and south, live in the belt, the common borders. So this is the time. We should use this euphoria to resolve the conflicts in southern Kordofan and the general situation in these two areas, and also Darfur.